Welcome to this lecture video. In this video, I am going to explain modern physics under which wave function, which comes under module 4 of engineering physics prescribed by BTU. So here I am going to discuss the following points, that is the wave function, time independent Schrodinger wave equation, physical significance of wave function and applications of Schrodinger wave equation. So these were all the points that I am going to discuss here. First, let us concentrate on what is wave function. So wave function. Every wave is characterized by periodic variation in some physical quantity. For example, pressure varies periodically in sound waves. Electric and magnetic fields varies periodically in electromagnetic waves. The quantity whose periodic variations makes up a matter wave, that is what is called de Broglie wave, and is having a wave function denoted by symbol psi. The value of psi at a particular point xyz in space at a time t is related to probability of finding the particle there at that time. The value of psi itself does not have any direct physical significance and is not an experimentally measurable quantity. The probability of finding a particle at some point in space at time t is a positive value between 0 and 1, but psi can be positive and negative or complex, therefore psi is not observable quantity. In general, the wave function psi is a complex, that is psi is equal to capital A plus IB. The complex conjugate of psi is considered as psi star, that is nothing but A minus IB. So a physical situation in quantum mechanics is represented by a function called wave function. It is denoted by psi. It accounts for the wave-like properties of particles. Wave function is obtained by solving Schrodinger equation. Now let us concentrate on what is time-independent Schrodinger wave equation. Time-independent Schrodinger wave equation. The general differential equation of wave traveling in x direction with velocity u having wave function psi is given by dou square psi by dou x square is equal to 1 by u square into dou square psi by dou t square. So consider that as equation number 1. So that is dou square psi by dou x square is equal to 1 by u square into dou square psi by dou t square. So the general solution of the equation number 1 is of the form, that is psi is equal to psi naught into the power of I into kx minus omega t. So consider that as equation number 2, where psi naught is observed to be a constant, and differentiating the equation number 2 partially with respect to time t, we get dou psi by dou t is equal to minus I omega into psi naught into the power of I into kx minus omega t. Again differentiating this with respect to time t, we get dou square psi by dou t square is equal to minus I omega whole square into psi naught e to the power of I into kx minus omega t. Therefore, dou square psi by dou t square is equal to minus omega square psi. So consider this as equation number 3. Now substitute the value of, that is substituting equation number 3 in equation number 1, we get dou square psi by dou x square is equal to minus omega square by u square into psi. So consider this as equation number 4. But here it is found that omega is equal to 2 pi mu, or that is equal to 2 pi into u by lambda, where u is velocity of wave and omega is angular frequency. So by de Broglie hypothesis, we can write lambda is equal to h by p. Further, omega square by u square is equal to 4 pi square p square by h square. So that is considered as equation number 6. The total energy E is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. that is E is equal to half mv square plus capital V, or that is equal to m square v square by 2m plus V. So E can be written as p square by 2m plus V. See here, p is nothing but m into V, therefore p square can be written as 2m into E minus V. So this is what the expression. Now substituting the value of p square in equation number 6, we get omega square by u square is equal to 8 pi square m by s square into E minus V. And substituting this equation in equation number 4, we get dou square psi by dou x square is equal to minus 8 pi square m by s square into E minus V into psi. So therefore we can write dou square psi by dou x square plus 8 pi square m by s square into E minus V into psi is equal to 0. So this is known as time independent Schrodinger wave equation, that is in one dimension. Now let us concentrate on what is physical significance of wave function. According to Max Born's interpretation, the probability of finding the particle described by the wave function, that is psi, at a point say x, y, z at time t, is proportional to the value of psi square at that point and at that time t. The larger value of psi square represents larger probability of finding the particle. The smaller value of psi square represents a smaller probability of finding the particle. The probability of finding the particle is 0 when psi square is equal to 0. The probability of finding the particle in certain volume element delta V is equal to dx, dy, dz. So it is considered as psi square into dV, which is probability density if psi square represents probability. So this is what about the physical significance of wave function. So if psi is the wave function associated with a particle, then psi square is the probability of finding a particle in unit volume. The probability of finding a particle in certain elemental volume d tau is given by psi square d tau. The psi square is called probability density. The probability of finding an event is real and positive quantity. In case of complex wave functions, the probability density, that is psi square, is equal to psi star psi, or where psi star is considered as complex conjugate of psi. Now let us discuss about applications of Schrodinger wave equation. So here we are going to consider a particle. Let us consider the particle is an electron, that is considered in an infinite potential well of infinite depth. So here we are plotting a graph of voltage versus the width of the box. That's what that you can look into this picture. Now consider a one-dimensional problem in which a particle of mass m moving with speed v along x direction is confined to a box of length capital L with perfectly rigid walls at x is equal to 0 and x is equal to L, that is as shown in picture. The particle does not lose energy when it collides with walls, so that the total energy remains constant. This physical problem of particle is confined between two rigid walls can be converted into potential energy of particle to be infinite at and beyond the walls. So that is V is equal to infinity, and here x is less than or equal to 0 and x is greater than or equal to L or A. Anything may be considered here. The particle energy of particle is constant in the box, which can be taken to be 0 for convenience, that is V is equal to 0, and here x is in between 0 and L or A. The potential energy distribution is as shown in the picture. it is as possible, that is, if it is as if particle is inside an infinite potential well, as a particle does not exist at the walls and beyond, then psi is equal to 0 for x is less than or equal to 0 and x is greater than or equal to E or L. The wave function psi exists only for x is in between 0 and E or 0 and L. So the Schrodinger time independent wave equation is written as dou square psi by dou x square plus 8 pi square m by s square into E minus v into psi is equal to 0. So considering that as equation number 1, since v is equal to 0 for x between 0 and L, so dou square psi by dou x square plus 8 pi square m by s square into psi is equal to 0. Here let us consider k square is equal to 8 pi square me by s square. So considering that as equation number 2, so dou square psi by dou x square plus k square psi is equal to 0. That is another equation. The general solution of this equation is written as psi is equal to a sin kx plus b cos kx. So that's what that you can see here. The general solution of the equation is psi is equal to capital A sin kx plus b cos kx. Here A and B are arbitrary constants which are to be determined using boundary conditions. The first boundary condition is psi is equal to 0 at x is equal to 0. Therefore 0 is equal to a sin 0 plus b cos 0. So here the value of b becomes 0. So finally the value of psi is equal to a sin kx. The second boundary condition is psi is equal to 0 at x is equal to L. Therefore 0 is equal to a sin kl plus 0 cos kl. So finally the value of kl is equal to n pi, where n is starting from 1, 2, 3. The value of n is ranges from 1, 2, 3 etc. And here n is considered as a quantum number. Finally the value of k is equal to n pi by L. So here by considering the equations, we can write 8 pi square me by h square is equal to n square h square by n square pi square by L square. Further on simplification, we are going to get the value of psi n is equal to square root of 2 by a into sin of n pi by a into x, and the eigenvalue for a particle in an infinite potential well is written as En is equal to n square h square by 8ma square. Now let us concentrate on problem number 1. An electron is bound in one-dimensional potential well of width 0.18 nanometer. Find the energy value in electron volt of a second excited state. Here the value of n is 3, that is for second excited state, and the value of m is given, that is 9.11 into 10 to the minus 31 kg, and the value of charge on the electron is given, that is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb, and the value of h is also be given, that is 6.63 into 10 to the minus 34 joule second. So we know that En is equal to n square h square by 8ma square, so many joules, or En is equal to n square h square by 8ma square into E, so many electron volts. So by substituting the value of n, h, m and a here, we can get the value of E2 is equal to 104.7 electron volts. So in both the case, we are going to get the same answer, that is 104.7 electron volts. Second problem, calculate the energy in electron volt for the first excited state of an electron in an infinite potential well of width 2 angstrom. So here the width of the potential well is given as 2 angstrom, and n is 2 for first excited state, h is 6.63 into 10 to the minus 34 joule second, and m is equal to 9.1 into 10 to the minus 31 kg. And charge on the electron is 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19 coulomb. So we know the formula for calculating En in joules, that is n square h square by 8ma square, so many joules, and En is equal to n square h square by 8ma square into E, so many electron volts. Substituting the value of N, H, M and A, we can evaluate the value of En as 37.74 electron volts. Similarly, the value will be same by considering the equation in electron volts, that is 37.74 electron volts. That's what the energy of the electron. The problem number 3, compute the de Broglie wavelength for a neutron moving with 1/10th part of velocity of light. So here the velocity of the moving neutron is c by 10, that is c is nothing but 3 into 10 to the power of 8, that is velocity of light, that divided by 10. So it is found to be 0.3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, and h is given as 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second, and m is mass of the neutron, that is 1.678 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg, and velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So we have to calculate what is the de Broglie wavelength associated with neutron, that is lambda. So according to de Broglie, lambda is equal to h by mv. Substitute the value of h, m and v here. So on simplification, the value of lambda is equal to 1.317 into 10 to the power minus 14 meter. Thank you.